Robert. Welcome to the BlockHash podcast live. Happy to have you here. And what's up?
Hey, yeah, no, thanks for having me. I'm a fan of this podcast. I listen to it and then I try to contact your people. I've done that like two or three times. You're kind of like business development for me in a way. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Who have you tried contacting?
There was the companies doing like the book publishing. Power Fan reached out to them a couple
Ah,
of weeks
okay.
ago. Yeah, it's great. No, I mean it's as where we are as a company, as we're trying to establish what we're doing and some of our use cases. It's great. It's great to have kind of this connection to the community that you kind of surface. It's really helpful.
Yeah, of course. How long have you been in the community for?
So I've been with VideoCoin for about 2 years, and that kind of maps a little bit of my time in the community, maybe a little bit before that. But I'm traditionally my background is in like traditional entertainment, first on the content side, and then I began to work kind of like in technology strategy for some of the studios like Sony and 20th Century Fox, and it's through kind of the technology strategy. I was doing things like VR, AR, 5G, and then that's what kind of got me into some initial blockchain. And so I joined the company here like 2 years ago. It's really great. I mean, we're at this moment where a lot of things are becoming adjacent to traditional media, right? And whether it's these kind of convergence of all these technologies, whether it's things like VR, AR, 5G, and then of course all of the decentralization through blockchain, and now obviously NFTs being coming from that. It's a really interesting time for entertainment. I mean, for me though, when people ask like what was the crypto moment for you, for me it wasn't necessarily the much of the DeFi. I just couldn't. I never really wrapped my mind around that. But it was when I started to see some of the effects that decentralization has on content creation, monetization, distribution, things like that. That's what really kind of piqued my interest.
Yeah, what did you do before, VideoCoin? Did you have any experience in the video industry before, or is this kind of new for you?
Yeah, so I worked it was like technology strategy. So for the studios, I started in kind of data analytics for Sony. I was working on like content in the post theatrical window,
Hmm.
and so that kind of led me to a role in VR. I joined 20th Century Fox to help kind of launch their VR unit through this thing called the Fox Innovation Lab. And once we kind of launched the VR unit, then I started working on other technologies. And really what we were doing is we would look at new technology and try to figure out how to incorporate it into the studio, whether it was like a technology for new content creation or a technology for marketing or a technology for distribution. We were all trying to figure out what effects these technologies could have on like a very traditional studio business. And that's doing that kind of stuff is when I first started looking into blockchain.
Got it. Okay, what is VideoCoin exactly? Like, I've dug into it a little bit. I've heard a lot of people trying to figure out how to combine video and NFTs, as well as music and NFTs and all this stuff that, every direction people want to take it. What is it exactly? What are you guys aiming to do?
So VideoCoin, we've really been working on VideoCoin since 2018. We officially launched in 2020. And VideoCoin was kind of initially positioned as a decentralized solution for video processing. We're a proof of stake native blockchain. We have like 1,200 workers around the world. Workers is what we refer to as miners. And they, very kind of cost effectively would do this video processing work. But what we saw was, beginning now about a year ago, we started seeing what was happening in the NFT space, mainly around NFTs and JPEGs, NFTs and digital art. And we knew, given some of our pedigree, like a lot of us come from video and entertainment. Our CEO and founder, Halsey Minor, he started CNET back in the day. He was like second investor in Salesforce, like one of these like real serial entrepreneurs, right?
Mhm.
And so what we began to see in the NFT space, or at least the opportunity for, was not just NFTs as a JPEG, but what would NFTs as video be? I mean, we think video is a very compelling media experience, so we just kind of thought that naturally NFTs would eventually go there.
Oh yeah, they're definitely going to go that direction one way or another. I've had a few people reach out to me asking how they can combine video or movie projects with NFTs, and I'm never quite sure how to answer that question.
Yeah.
But what is a video NFT? Like, what does that entail?
Well, so I mean, I think the easiest way to kind of grasp is what like NBA Top Shot is doing, right?
Hmm.
Where you buy the NFT, you get access to a video clip. One of the things that our platform's really primed for, though, is even expanding that video use case. So we can definitely do short video, but even being prepared to do much longer video, much larger sizes. But in fact, video is just kind of like our foundation. We actually are building NFTs with all media. So the NFTs that we create are any type of binary code. Essentially, we can turn into an NFT, whether it's video files, MP3, MP4, waves, 3D files. All of that we can make an NFT out of. And maybe what I should start with is just kind of like what our platform does, and give you kind of a brief description of what we do.
Sure.
So VideoCoin, essentially what we've created is like a white label software solution that allows any content creator or content platform or brand or retailer to like immediately set up an NFT marketplace, mint NFTs, sell NFTs as like a consumer product. So like Brandon, like we could pretty immediately we could set up BlockHash NFT.com or Brandon Zemp NFT.com. And we could be selling, this video, for example, as an NFT.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, let's do it. So this is like it's like a white label solution. We're like back end, and the capabilities that we allow would usually take you like 10 to 12 months to set up on your own. And literally we can do this for you in like 15 minutes. So like the first thing that we do when we talk to content creators or brands is, if you want NFT capabilities, we can set you up. And again, we're kind of like, we're the back end. So you maintain like the front end of your storefront, you maintain your branding. We just give you those capabilities. Now, when it comes to the actual NFT itself, we also do some really novel things there as well. We have this idea of the expansive NFT, because we really see that NFTs are going to go the way of like very compelling full media experiences. So we have a few features that we've kind of innovated that make what we think is like the next generation of NFT. We call this NFT plus. So just to kind of give you an example of that, some of the features, for example. So as I mentioned, first off, the NFTs we create are like all types of media. But in addition to that, we have this feature that's like a multi-asset NFT. So what I mean by that is like we kind of view the NFT as a container that into the NFT, you can put like multiple pieces of media. So it's not like one NFT equals one JPEG or one NFT equals one video, but you could put like multiple videos, multiple JPEGs, multiple audio files, like in any kind of like really limitless combination into your NFT. And so, we think this like is going to really contribute to people like content creators really thinking like, okay, what is this sandbox that we can play in? Like how can I pull these different levers with these different pieces of media to create like really, really novel NFT experiences? And so that's what we're really focused on.
Got it. So it's like a bucket almost, like an NFT bucket, and you throw
Totally.
in some MP4, some MP3s, and gives it a little bit more diversity, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's some other kind of levers as well. Like we've built the whole platform on this like DRM methodology, which essentially means for each piece of media that you put in this bucket, you could permission it differently. So for example, and when I say permission it, really what I mean is you could like lock it or unlock it or make it viewable or not viewable to like the general public. So like, for example, if when you were selling the NFT, and in that NFT you have video and JPEG or whatnot, when you're selling the NFT, if you only wanted the JPEG visible, then you could essentially block the video, and that wouldn't be available until someone bought the NFT. Or even if you owned the NFT, you could block what pieces of those what pieces of media were actually visible. So this is another kind of feature that shows some of the variety and flexibility with which we're trying to think of the NFT as a media experience.
Got it. So you guys are essentially allowing, I guess, like creators to have their own NFT marketplace, correct? Like, for example, being a podcast, BlockHash could have its own NFT marketplace where it's putting out these NFT buckets to have all this stuff in it. More or less, that's how it works.
That's absolutely right. So, like literally, we could set you up with BlockHashNFT.com. It would be like all of your branding on kind of the front end, and then we're doing the entire back end stuff. And so you would go into like our interface. You would start to set up your NFT. You would be like, okay, I want to put these 3 pieces of video in. I want to put these audio files, and I've got a great JPEG. So you put that all in the bucket. You permission them differently. You click mint, and then on BlockHashNFT.com is maybe this video as an NFT. And then there's actually one other kind of really cool thing we do is that we have this feature that the NFT is actually updatable. So even after you mint the NFT, or maybe even after I bought the NFT or even sold it to someone else, you as the original content creator could continue to put media into the NFT. So it becomes this like persistent way to communicate with your fans. And it really opens up some really novel kind of like monetization pathways as well, like the NFT as a subscription model and all of these really interesting things. So, just like very generally, we want to enable content creators to step into this world of NFTs and be able to craft NFTs, in kind of a full way, to the extent that their imagination allows them to craft them.
Yeah, I like that angle, being able to almost put like a subscription on an NFT, or an NFT that almost represents a subscription where, they're getting different content, getting updated maybe on a weekly basis, maybe on a monthly basis. I can imagine throwing podcast episodes in there, updating them, some premium ones. What about like real-time data or stats or files? Like someone wanted to create like a sports card, for example, that updated stats in real time throughout like a game or something like that. Is that possible to do as well, or is that a little bit farther down?
Yeah, let me just write that idea down. Hold on. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah. So data is actually going to be a big component of this, and I think what we're seeing with NFTs is that the way that these things can kind of be living in persistent experiences, particularly the way that communities build around them. That I think real-time interactions will certainly be a part of what we can build as an NFT. I mean, even if you're talking about things like live streaming and things like that, then absolutely. Again, if it's a digital file, if it has some binary to it, we can throw it into the container or the bucket.
Yeah, is that something you guys are looking to do, or is that just kind of like an idea on the notepad somewhere?
Well, so our as I mentioned, like our original conception of VideoCoin was as this decentralized video processing. And live streaming was part of our capability set. Where we are right now, that's more of a roadmap feature. Where we are is we actually today we just released our beta version that has some of these features that I've mentioned, but we also have obviously a longer roadmap as well.
How does live streaming play into NFTs?
Look, I mean, I think with a lot of things with NFTs, there's this idea like, so one example I like to use sometimes is 4G, right? Like back in the day when 4G came out, there was this idea that like 4G was going to be faster, it was going to be more data, and okay, cool, faster speed, more data, sounds great. But at the time, like we couldn't conceive that 4G would lead to things like Netflix and Uber and those type of businesses. And so I think we're in a very similar spot now with NFTs, where we all have a general sense of the capabilities and the advantages that they bring. And now it's about getting like very imaginative people, content creators, to come in, play with the tools, play in the sandbox, and see what can be built. And so that's essentially what we want to enable. We want to give people that sandbox to play.
Yeah, live streaming feature would be kind of interesting.
Totally.
It's funny with NFTs. Like I understand it really well, and I understand everything in the space really well. But there's always new things that crop up, even on a daily basis. And I'm just like, you
Absolutely.
can do that? That's possible. You can live stream with an NFT. You can
Well, I mean,
make an
even in the
NFT with
sense
all this
that,
stuff in it, or
yeah, I mean,
um,
even in the sense that the idea of the NFT as a ticket or a passport.
mhm,
That seems like to me kind of a logical implementation for things like live streaming. It's not
mhm.
just when you build an NFT, it's not just the discrete media experiences that are actually put in some decentralized storage, and then the token is on the blockchain, but it's also the additional access that it gives you to further experiences, whether those are experiences in real life or maybe even a ticket to a streaming experience.
Got it. On the back end, or I guess maybe on the foundation of it all, I saw you guys are integrating with Filecoin too. So is that in an effort just to be more decentralized, or does there some added benefit or perk to working with them doing it that way?
Generally, yes. I mean, but what we're specifically solving is this idea of breaking or vanishing NFTs.
Hmm.
We see this on a daily basis that people spend the money on these NFTs, and then the link is broken to the actual media, or they vanish, or you have the rug pulls.
Got it.
So what we wanted to do was develop this concept of we call it a resilient NFT. And the idea behind a resilient NFT, there's really kind of two sides of the house. First off, there's what we do on the VideoCoin network, which is the DRM methodology that I mentioned. We can encrypt on the chain the token that has kind of like your public Ethereum address, for example, and that's put into a metadata profile that links to our storage location, which is done through Filecoin. So it's kind of this combination of a strong DRM methodology with decentralized storage where the media is actually held, that really produces this idea of resiliency for an NFT.
Got it. Yeah, I guess that is important too. Having that resiliency and knowing that NFT isn't going to get rug pulled or isn't going to change or something's going to happen to it.
Totally. I mean,
Um,
I think like, the basis of some of the things we're doing here is thinking of NFTs as an alternative for content distribution and monetization for creators. And there's all these concepts behind the creator economy and things like that. And some of that is kind of dependent upon these ideas that when you have a piece of content and you're sharing that with your audience, that there is perpetual benefit that creator can get. And that all depends on this idea of NFTs and their longevity, being able to track an NFT from one owner to the next, and how royalties slide back up to the original creator. And that all depends on this idea that these NFTs can't vanish or break. It's extremely important.
Oh yeah. Let me ask you a more bigger picture question, and I ask almost everyone this because I like hearing different opinions on where they think NFTs are going. And NFTs are just such a great tool on blockchain that it can be used for so many different things. But where do you think the future of NFTs are going? Not just in the rest of 2021 or maybe even 2022, but going forward more long term. How do you see NFTs really fitting into society? Whether it's with creators or gaming or tickets and venues or live streaming or videos or what you guys are doing, what direction do you think it's eventually going?
I mean, I think with anything, it's like all of the above, right? And I know that's kind of
Probably.
I know that's kind of cheating, but as opposed to like thinking like okay, will filmmakers use this, or will video game creators use this? Will authors use this? Like yes, yes, and yes. So I think what we get excited about the NFT for is that it is this kind of new palette for content creators and like I said, even brands to create these new type of experiences that really connect them to their audiences. And so instead of like maybe answering your specific question, one way I like to think about this is start to bring in those concepts of what it really means for a Web3 platform and content and entertainment on a Web3 platform. And so, in my mind, this is going to transform not only content creation, but also content consumption. And so maybe if I'll just lean into these a little bit, like on the content creation side, and this is what really sparked in my mind, this is what like pulled me into the rabbit hole, right? You see what some of these communities are doing, like Bored Apes and CryptoPunks, and yes, it's like great to own the actual media. It's great to own the art. It's it's beautiful art. It's really interesting art, but it's those communities and what they're doing underneath them that is extremely fascinating in terms of content creation. And some of this is like content creation by community. So it really revolutionizes the way we think about like what is an original IP, what are the derivatives, who owns it, who has access to it, who should benefit from it. All of this stuff is game changing. And then on the consumption side, we're so used to when we want to watch a piece of content, we give that content like our money and our time, and what we get from that is some enjoyment. And for most of our history, that's been fine. Like we haven't known anything different really. But now with things like NFT, yes, we'll still, give our time and our money. But now we have utility to gain from it. We're essentially, we own an asset, right? We now, when we buy an NFT, not only are we getting entertainment from it, but we also have the potential to own this asset that can increase in value. And I think this is extremely powerful because, for the first time with our entertainment, we have the ability to participate in the upside of like a shared endeavor. And I think that is, I think that's one of the most compelling statements you can say about NFTs and what it means for how we've traditionally thought about content creation.
Let me ask you a more specific question as well. What about social media? Since you're, kind of part of, NFTs obviously in the industry with VideoCoin and, helping innovate what NFTs can be and what they can do, do you think that this is like, from a content perspective, the way, the future of content might go, maybe towards being helpful for a decentralized type of social media, like a decentralized Twitter or decentralized Instagram? Do you think maybe possibly Facebook, Instagram, Twitter might want to use NFTs as well? Or do you think that this is better fit for like a decentralized platform? I just have a really strong feeling that it's going to go that direction very quickly.
Yeah, and look, I mean, those ideas are out there, right? I think you don't have to get too far into Discord or NFT Twitter to see people talking about some of these concepts. What's fascinating to me is that one of the most creative industries of the past 20 years has been memes, right? And for the history of memes, you haven't been able to properly credit the creative provenance of that. And memes is such a generative community run kind of creative endeavor, and yet it's all been done essentially for free. And so you take a platform, for example, like TikTok, like an extremely creative place. What TikTok has done, like the sandbox that TikTok has enabled for creativity, is absolutely amazing. But except for the very few, a lot of that creativity, you can't track the provenance of it. creators aren't they don't benefit from their creative spark. And I think the same goes for platforms like Facebook and Twitter. And so, for the first time with NFTs and blockchain, a content creator doesn't have to, in order to get distribution of their media, whether it's a film that I've made or even just photos that I want to share. In order to get massive distribution, I don't have to cede over co-ownership. And so, whether these centralized platforms adopt some NFT integration, as we've seen TikTok do or announce over the past week, or whether ultimately all of this moves to some kind of decentralized social media platform. I think the main point is that these new models are going to make everyone change how they think about, what it means to be an owner and creator of content, what it means to share that content, and then ultimately how people in the community should benefit from it.
Yeah, I think monetization is going to be a huge component of it. There's so many huge there's social media influencers and creators out there that really don't make much money or don't make anything. Some of them do it all, completely for free. I feel like monetization is a huge part of maybe where NFTs can go in terms of content creation and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Anyways, how can people learn more about VideoCoin? How can they keep up with it and stay on top of what's on the roadmap? What you guys got coming up? Do you guys have a blog? Do you have a community? Do you have a Discord or a Telegram?
On all of those. So so our website is videocoin.io. Our Twitter is VideoCoin HQ, like headquarters. We have our Telegram, which is @VideoCoin. You can see all of our stuff there. And then obviously check out our Medium spot as well. It's medium.com/VideoCoin. As I said, we just released our the beta version of our platform today. We're going to have demos up there. It's a great place to kind of start and get a sense of what we're doing.
Okay, got it. Is it videocoin.io or videocoin.network?
Videocoin.io. Videocoin.network goes to the same place, but videocoin.io.
Okay, got it. Cool. Anyways, Robert, thank you for taking the time to come on the podcast and elaborate more on what you guys are doing with VideoCoin and NFTs. It's very exciting. It's probably my favorite niche across blockchain and crypto, just because it's so crazy. Everything from art and collectibles to where they're trying to push it, and all the celebrities that are jumping in, and the athletes. And I feel like it's gone more mainstream than Bitcoin sometimes. So
absolutely. I mean, look, it's NFTs in a way is bringing everyone in, right? It's like the harbor or the port for blockchain and crypto. It's and it's because it's entertainment and it's media, so people can really connect to that. So absolutely, yeah, we're super excited and fortunate to be where we are.
Absolutely, it's like the bait and hook in this industry.
Yeah.
Anyways, appreciate it. Thank you for coming on. Stay on for just a second so I can talk to you. Otherwise, talk again in the future.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, Brandon.
Anytime.